Hey, grandma needs a phone, so I'm on the lookout for a phone. A smartphone. She wants to get into the digital age. Good for her. Now we could hook her up with possibly one of the cheapest smartphones on this market, but 80 euros, would it be good enough? 8 gigs of storage, 1 gig of RAM, it's a bit tight, and the phone, probably be quite content with it. Yeah, but we can do better. We can buy used. 3 years ago, the used smartphone market wasn't that great. There just weren't that many used high-performing devices out there. These days though, it's fantastic. And my guess is that we should be able to get something way nicer for 50 euros or less. Of course, it's 2018. For as little as 50 euros, can you get a really nice smartphone? What am I looking for? I only set 2 criteria: Gorilla Glass and 3 gigabytes of RAM. Everything else can take a back seat. There might be other nice features, but they're not important to us right now. Gorilla Glass. You need strong glass. Now there might be some other competing glasses, but apart from Apple's use of their proprietary third-party glass, the options tend to be few and far between. Just to keep things simple, if a phone doesn't have any Gorilla Glass of any sort, just skip it. It's not worth your time, it's not worth your money. I should know. I went through 3 screens on my old phone that didn't have Gorilla Glass, and even with my skills to fix it myself, the cost of those digitizers, it adds up. Never mind the time it took. Standard glass is just waiting to shatter. It'll crack, it'll break at the smallest drop. Avoid it. It's garbage, don't get it. 3 gigs of RAM, why? Because that's where your apps live, that's where they operate, and the more RAM you have, the less your apps need to swap between RAM and onboard storage. The smoother experience a user is going to have an enjoyable experience. And that's it. Browse online until we find what we want, and this is what I got. A Huawei Honor 6, still with another good year of warranty on it. That Huawei Honor 6, it blows the in-store option we were looking at in every single way. At just 7.5mm thick, it's a nice, thin, sleek phone with 5-inch bright high-res 1080p display with that Gorilla Glass 3. The display is an IPS display, leading to a very colorful, vibrant screen, only beat by its OLED counterparts. Cat 6 300 megabit LTE connection means that's probably more than you're going to need for the foreseeable future. And that camera, that was a surprise. Surprisingly good at 13 megapixels. For what it is, it's actually quite good at low light and macro shots. Unfortunately, it does not have any optical image stabilization. Videos may come out a little bit shaky. It can only record at 1080p, as you can see in this video. It leaves a little bit to be desired, and it may be something to consider if you're looking at this phone. The camera position on the side can also be a little bit annoying, as your fingers can easily get in the way of the lens. The built-in camera app itself, I find a bit lacking, but it's simple enough. There's no advanced options, no raw shooting, no manual focus, no ISO adjustment, no resolution settings, none of that. You press, you take a photo, and the same goes for video. Now, we're giving this to an elderly family member that only wants to take the occasional photo. It's perfect. No complications. Simple. You push, you shoot. Which might be attractive to a lot of users. I'll let you take a few more looks at a couple more images and footage that I've taken with this camera. Now, as I said, the 3 gigabytes of onboard RAM, it keeps apps switching fluidly, and the user experience very snappy. And if we talk about the user experience, Huawei's EMUI doesn't deviate much from Android stock. There is very little bloat, and any little included apps can be uninstalled or disabled and taken care of quickly. Apart from the standard interface, it has a built-in simple theme with large, almost tile-like buttons that make the interface very easy to use. I like it. Now, unfortunately, Huawei has not updated this device beyond Android Marshmallow. In the ROM community, they haven't figured out how to get the latest version of Android on this device either. The hardware, it's definitely there, it could handle it. if an update were to come out eventually. Now, despite Huawei's decision, for the time being, most apps should continue to run, and you shouldn't see any major issues with it. 3100 mAh battery life is great, combined with the 8-core processor for added power efficiency. I used it off and on throughout the day to test it out, and I ended the day with about 30% battery life. Now, unfortunately, sitting here out in Finland at minus 15 degrees Celsius, the battery had a very hard time coping in the cold, quickly cutting out at about the 50% mark. To be fair, this is a very common issue in Finland under cold weather. Step back into a warm place, phone operates like normal again. The battery itself is non-removable, and as far as I can tell, there's no easy way to open this device. You will need to take a heat gun and peel off that glued-on back cover. Normally, this is not a difficult task, but it's not something that most consumers are going to feel comfortable with. So for most people, the battery is non-replaceable. Performance-wise, it holds up very well for what it is. With an Antutu score of 6200, it puts it in the same category as the Galaxy S6. The only annoyance is this blank open space below the screen. Huawei sells a film that you can place over your phone to move your navigation buttons to the blank area. Buttons which I think should have been there to begin with. Anyway, a minor complaint in what is a world that has now moved on to bezel-less displays. It's a nice phone, in my opinion. Simple, easy to use, gets the job done. And how did it compare to our in-store purchase option, by the way? Here is a quick look, side by side. Like I said, better by magnitudes in every way. I wanted to get something that would work, that would last, and that would be enjoyable to use. Nowadays, do consider buying used. Not only can you save some of that nice cash, you can end up with a much nicer device than you would have if you would have purchased new. And with as fast as phones are upgraded and replaced, you have a pretty good chance of grabbing something that is still under warranty. And do remember, no matter what a sales associate tells you, no matter what a company tells you, if you are in the EU, you have a guaranteed 2-year warranty on all products. I just say that because I've noticed a lot of companies have been trying to skirt their way around that little rule. So that's all. That's about all I have to say about the Huawei Honor 6. They do have a bit of a messy naming scheme, so the 6A, the 6, the 6X, they're all completely different phones. Otherwise, if you did enjoy this video, maybe you want to check out my video on why your next laptop should be a used laptop, where I go into detail of what you should be looking for and how you can get something that will work well and last for quite a while. Otherwise, if you did enjoy this video, do make sure to hit that like button. If for some reason you did not, I encourage you to hit like anyway, just because. Otherwise, no matter where you are in this world, you should have a good day, a good night, and a good morning. Bye bye.